getting free Foosackly's next week. Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't. How so?
So I have a friend at work. Apparently because I'm like the male version or the female version of like, yeah, I'm actually a lady. My bad, I forgot.
I get confused sometimes. This
yeah,
human form is very...
I'm like, are these boobs or are these man chests? Are these chesticles are real floppy.
I didn't have these in the last body I possessed. This is odd.
Is Van Wilder? I'm the female version of Van Wilder. Like, I am a, like, professional student. I just intend to stay in school forever.
That's what my mom says about me.
But you have 2 to 3 degrees already.
I have 1 degree and a high school diploma.
I have a diploma, 2 degrees, working on a 3rd. I just can't make up my mind. I'm real fickle. I'm a fickle bitch.
Listen, I'm probably gonna get my bachelor's in history and then immediately be like, fuck, I want to do journalism. So that... Oh well.
Paper mache might be fun.
Underwater basket weaving.
Isn't that an innuendo?
Is it?
I think it is.
See, that's really weird, and I hope it's not, because that was always, like, a joke that my band director always told. That it was just like a running...
Blow hard, finger fast.
Fuck. Underwater basket weaving was like a running gag in the marching band from our assistant director, because high school parents are stupid. Like, high school kids are stupid, but, like, their parents are pretty fucking stupid. So, at, like, board meetings, she'd be, like, explaining how to fill out, like, a check and, like, an envelope so we could, like, you know, pay for, like, instruments or uniforms or fucking cookie dough. I don't know. And she'd always be like, so you put little Johnny's name here, and then you have to put what it's for, so underwater basket weaving, whatever. That was just, like, always a running gag, so I really hope it's not an innuendo.
I think you should Google it, because I had a very brief, when I was, like, 16, I had a very brief, like, texting romance with this guy who was older. And in my mind, I felt like he was, like, much older than me, but he was probably, like, 22. But in my mind, he was, like, a 40-year-old man. And
I was just talking to my mom the other week. I found out that when I was 10, Victoria was 13.
She could just dial the telephone a little bit faster than I could. But anyways, he had said that to me one time. He's like, yeah, you could come over and we could, like, underwater basket weave or something. And I was like, what? I don't even know what that means because I'm a child. But okay.
Okay, so the first thing that it brings up is obviously the art or activity of woven baskets.
Okay.
But another one, it's used as a type of college course that is thought to be without any practical or professional value.
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. It happens. But, I don't even remember what I was telling you initially. Fuck. Oh well, it's gone now, because I've thought of a different story already. Did I ever tell you about the time...
Oh my god.
That, like, when I was probably, like, 16, 17, I didn't live at home. And I lived with my friend, and it was, like, the first week of me being, like, living with her and her mom. And we had gone to a show downtown, because that's what teenagers did. They'd go to shows.
That's what they still do.
They're not concerts, they're shows. Snaps.
You only call them shows if you're real fucking pretentious like I do. Oh, I went to the RKS show last October. It was lit.
Fucking hipsters. Anyways, we go to a show. I don't know this band. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just there to hang out. Yeah, I think it was.
Fucking love the vinyl.
No, it wasn't. It was like at this other place that closed down, like, very closely after this.
Okay.
Anyways, it was sketchy, but, like, while we were there, I ran into this girl I knew from school. I wasn't really friends with her. Like, I knew her through other people, and we had, like, talked at lunch a couple of times. But she came running up to me, like, oh my god, I'm so excited to see you. And I was like, hey, because I knew she had the reefers. And, because that's the kind of teenager I was. Like, a friend with weed is a friend indeed. So we were talking or whatever, and she's like, oh, we're about to go, like, get some and go hang out. Do you want to ride with? And I was like, bye, people I came with. I made no commitments to you. And I hop in the car with her. And it's like her and another guy I knew from school, and then some other people I didn't know. And all of them were like, I was the kind of person that like didn't really have like a style. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I dressed cute or whatever, but I wasn't like all black or
You weren't
whatever.
like the hipster, the goth, or like whatever.
Well, they were like
also like hipsters weren't a thing.
it wasn't
back in like what 2000.
Early 2000s,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck, okay.
Yeah, so...
I was about to say 2008, but that's not right.
I just aged myself. So...
I just dated myself.
Yeah, so they were very much like the ICP type people. Like, that's the type of clothes they wore.
I don't know what that means.
Insane clown posse.
Oh.
Yeah, so like big bell bottoms that were like all
Oh.
black and like black scary Slipknot shirts and shit.
Oh.
Like, yeah, they were like those type of people, which I didn't give a fuck about.
But
right?
they had the reefer.
They did. I had on a ticket that your brother got us pulled over for on our way to a Lil Wayne concert.
I know that story and it's
The
fantastic.
freaking police officer wrote going like 100 miles per hour on the interstate to a Lil Wayne concert, right? And they took all of our reefers, and he's like, y'all come back, but don't come back packing reefers. And I was like, okay.
Did you not get arrested?
No, we didn't. I thought for sure one of us was going to, the one that was of age. Like,
But
of
there
legal
were.
age.
It was just a car full of white toddlers, so it was fine.
No, it was me, the younger brother,
The other one.
our friend. We'll call
Is that
him
the friend I'm thinking?
Mincer.
That's.
I for sure thought he was like Pakistani the first time I saw him for whatever reason, and he's Italian, but like I really thought he was. I was like, that is the hottest Pakistani guy I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, you know who's the hottest Pakistani guy I've ever seen in my entire life?
An actual Pakistani guy, I was
The
saying.
fucking guy from the night of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd hit it. He could get it. Okay. Hashtag you could get it. I want to see your deck. Anyways, so I get in the car with these people and we drive off, right? I'm thinking I'm going to hang out with them tonight. They're going to drop me off back at my friend's house and, you know, it's not a big deal, right? No, she like keeps me for a week. Like, full week. My friend's like texting and calling me. I have nothing. I don't have any clothes with me. I don't have like a phone charger. I probably didn't even have my like ID because I didn't have a
keeps you.
She keeps me for like a week.
I have questions.
Well, her parents were out of town and she didn't want to be home alone. So it was like
So she held you hostage.
sort of. I mean, like I didn't complain. She did introduce me to her friend who was like also her like reefer dealer. And we go over to his house, right? And these are more people who are like super like Slipknot, like ICP, whatever.
I hate it.
We get there. Keep in mind, I'm like long ass hair. I dress sort of like a hippie in a way. Very revealing mostly. And I've always had tiggle bitties. So like males tend to appreciate that, right?
Did you get free reefer?
I didn't, but actually I did because I didn't pay for anything. So in a way I did. The dude fell in love with me like hardcore, okay? He was older. Like I was, again, probably like 16, 17, and he was in his mid to late 20s. We get over there and it was like I thought he was a vampire. Like I wasn't sure he wasn't. Like I'm still to this day not sure. Like I wouldn't invite him in to my house. But, like, I'd go outside and hang out with him. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But, like, I get over there, and it's like, he's got this long-ass hair, and the house is
it parted down the middle? I need you to paint me a picture.
It is, like, brown, super straight, like, parted down the middle, facial hair. He's super pale, real thin, real tall, cute. Like, he wasn't ugly. Like, he was very attractive.
But, like, for sure a vampire.
For sure. Like, there's no way, like, your skin is that good. He didn't look like he had ever gone outside, like, ever.
I was just sitting in a chair for 28 years
Eating
when I came out
saltines.
here.
Yeah, like, because he would, like, stay up all night and sleep all day, right?
Right,
And
so
like,
he literally did not see the sun.
at all. Like, the sun had never introduced itself to him. And so, like, we get over there, and he, like, just instantly was like...
Locks in.
Yeah, he's, like, zooming in on me with
That
his pee-pee
one.
missiles. Yeah. And, we're, like, hanging out, and I've always been kind of, like, mellow, and I just kind of go with the flow. Like, I don't really, I'm not like overly like assuming of things. I just chill.
Right.
And so we all have a great time. I made a bunch of jokes. Everyone laughed. They thought it was a great time. He's immediately texting her about like how like cool I am or whatever. Because I guess
Like you're in like the same room and he's texting her.
Yeah, but it wasn't like instant messaging or anything. It was texting because that was the time. And it was like you had to work for those letters.
It was like the fucking flip phone and like
Yeah.
every number had 3 letters of the alphabet. Woo.
We're all familiar with how those phones worked. Emily.
I'm speaking solely for my fellow Gen Z kids, which is weird because like I'm not a millennial technically, but I also don't identify with Gen Z because like when I think about Gen Z, I think about like 8th graders. So like I'm in anyone born in like 95, 96 is like in this weird middle section where nobody really wants us. So we're like a generation all of our own. Anyway.
We just call them the 95ers. Because there's like 95 of you. So anyway.
I'm pretty sure there was more than 95 kids born in 1995.
Well, there's only like, at least 100 people on Earth. There's like at least 100.
You're not wrong.
Okay. So
You're not technically wrong.
I love being right because even when I'm wrong, I'm just like a little less
Listen,
right.
that's one of my favorite internet jokes is like grossly underestimating things.
Like how many stars are there? Like at least 3, right?
Like you're not technically wrong.
Right.
I fucking love it. It's so funny to me.
So anyways, like that first night that I met this dude, like, he was already like infatuated. We can call him Jacula. And,
did you fuck him?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, because it creeped me out because then she gave him my phone number and he was like blowing my phone up and I was like,
yikes.
I'm gonna need you to not do that. But we did hang out like a couple of times.
Did they have the block section? Like, could you block people's numbers in early 2000s?
You just closed your phone. Yeah, you just closed it. And pretended it wasn't there.
Real dramatic.
Yeah.
That's what I do with most people now.
Yeah, that's true. Fair. But yeah, so she kept me for a full week, and then she finally returned me to my rightful owner.
Returned you?
Yeah.
Did she like feed and bathe you too?
I don't remember eating much, but we did smoke a lot, and that was fun.
I'm really glad you're alive.
Honestly, I don't know how I made it a lot of the times. Like another story where I kind of got like sort of in a way kidnapped. Me and a friend of mine. Our nicknames were Becca, Cheech, and Sarah Chong. Like, people literally thought those were our last names, and that is the equivalent of how much we smoked. And we were like a duo. We went everywhere together, like 2 little peas in a pod.
Did you work with this chick at the movie theater at one point?
No, she never worked. That was the girl that lives next to my mom. But
okay, yeah.
This girl I met at school, like when I went to adult high, and we became like good friends, and we just did everything together.
People
and so,
tell you about my best friend. Hashtag copyright.
Aw, I love that show. So anyways, we're hanging out. The girl that I lived with, we had parties at her house all the time because her mom was cool with it,
Right.
Or she just didn't know because she would like be asleep. And she had a pool and a hot tub, and so we would just have like fucking bangers like all the goddamn time. And not in a gross way. I don't mean like that kind of banger, like banging ass parties.
That sounds exhausting.
All the time. It was fun. And also I had like an outfit I wore for our parties. Usually it was a bathing suit, but like I always had like a tank top on, and my party shorts were these men's boxers that I don't even know who I stole them from, to be honest with you, but they had beer mugs all over them, so they're my party shorts. And that was what I wore like all the time. But anyways, so
must have been a look.
It was super cute actually, and I was always hella tan. But so we have this party, and there's these 2 like older skater boys who were hanging out, and like 20, 21 or whatever, and they're flirting with us. And
which is weird because you were 16, but nobody gave a shit.
I was probably
in
like
the early 2000s,
17, closer to 18 at this point, but still, yeah, you're right. And so we're hanging out. She's talking to one guy, and I'm listening to this other guy talk. I wasn't really interested, but he was friends with the dude she was like, interested in. So I was just keeping him company so he wouldn't want to leave and kill her game.
You were being a good friend.
I was taking one for the team because he was really fucking dumb. So, anyways, we're going to call him Little Peen. And you'll see why. I think this is a story you might remember. I don't know if I've told
Okay.
this to you. So anyways...
Does it end in a car?
A truck, yes.
Yep, alright.
So...
Please do tell everybody.
So... the party's like ended. My friend whose house it was, she was like, I have to work tomorrow, I'm gonna go to bed. So she goes to bed. We're sitting out in the back porch, and it's the four of us plus this old dude that would hang out with us. He was like 25 or whatever, and he had...
Which again, fucking weird.
Yeah,
but nobody cared. And
emotionally, he was really like a 16-year-old boy, to be honest. And we'll call him Big B. And they were like, oh, well, you know what we should do? We should drive over to the park that's right around the corner and smoke the reefers. And I was like, game, let's do this. So me and Chong, we are in like bathing suits that are still probably a little wet. I think we might have put on shorts and like a t-shirt over it or whatever. We don't take our phones. We don't take like anything because we're thinking... What we were told is we're going to go to this park and then we're going to come immediately back. Well, we get to the park. Somehow the dudes start to argue amongst themselves and Big B is pissed and he's like, just take me the fuck home. So the dudes are like, okay, fine, you know. And the guy that she was talking to is the one whose truck this was. And it was a big, nice truck. And so we drive and we take Big B home. And then we're like on our way back to my friend's house. And they're just like, fuck it. And the next thing I know, at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, we're driving towards the beach. It might have been a little earlier still. It might have been like 4:35. And so we're driving towards the beach. We get to the beach and we're sitting out there and like still, you know, drinking, hanging out or whatever. They start to make out and then they disappear off back to the truck. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll give them some time. So Lil Peen wants to start like fucking like coming on to me. And we make out for a little bit, and then I was like, I'm done, okay? Like, I'm over this. This is no longer fun for me. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm good, you know? So we get up, and we go up to the truck, and that kind of kills their vibe. I don't know. Hopefully they had got it in. And I hop in, and I'm like, I'm ready, you know? And so me and him are in the back. He is, at this point, wasted. Like rickety wrecked, okay? I am not, because I have never been one of those people that gets so drunk that I'm like out of control.
Blackout drunk.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. Like, get it together, hunty.
It's when your brain shuts down.
But your body's all eye of the tiger. I said that to my boss this morning. Like, me and him were hanging out a lot today, and I said that, and he like giggled.
I love it.
Yeah, I always feel like he's kind of flirting with me, but I can't ever tell, so I'm just like, what are you doing?
He was probably mad that I was in your office the other day, because he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go hit on Becca. And he was like, oh shit.
He literally makes some type of comment about how big my boobs are, like, 90% of our conversations.
Yeah,
but he knows that I'm not gonna get offended, like, I'm just gonna, like, laugh and make a joke about how he can't hold a marriage, and... then we just, like, move on. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not one of those, like, oh my god, #MeToo type situations. I'm never uncomfortable. Like, he knows that he can joke with me, and I'm fine with it. God. And it's also, like, in a weird way, in his, like, super superficial way, because he's extremely superficial. I don't know if you saw how tight his old man pants were, but, like, he's...
yeah, he did not have a cute face.
He's extremely superficial. And, you know, so, like, for him to, like, comment... positively about my physical shape is always like sort of a compliment in his way, so like I can appreciate it. It's fine. But so anyways, we're in the back of this truck, okay?
Alright.
He's on one side, like almost half passed out. I'm on the other side, and we're driving, and they're not looking back. They can't really see him at all. My friend can't see him because he's behind her.
Right.
And so he's like keeps trying to like make out with me, and I'm like, no, I've had enough. And and then he does the fellas. I don't know of any woman, and I have polled, who appreciate the old push the head down south move. It is not only just rude, but it's like tactless.
It's kind of rapey.
Yeah,
it's
well,
a little weird.
I don't know if I go that far of like rapey, but it's like you are 100% less likely to get a blowy if you shove my head towards your fucking like pants than if you were to, I don't know, use your big boy words.
Ask nicely.
Ask nicely.
Look, you can get very far in this life with the words please and thank you.
Exactly. Flattery will get you most places, okay? If you're like, oh my god, you're so wonderful, I'd like to feel that elsewhere, I might be like, I'll oblige you. But
I'm
if you
just drunk enough.
if you shove my head like semi-aggressively down towards your crotch, ain't gonna happen, bitch. And
You done fucked up.
you done fucked up.
You done fucked up, Aaron.
It wasn't gonna happen in general for this guy, but like it certainly wasn't gonna happen after that. Like, I want to do it because I want to, not because you told me to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to be a surprise for you. Like, I want to just be like,
I don't
boom.
want you to think that you're entitled to anything.
Yeah. I want you to not see that shit coming, and then all of a sudden be like, oh dear God, and then I'll be like, yeah, you know. But anyways, so he does that move, and I was like, oh hell no. And so I like remove my fucking person so far from him, like I am up against the door on the other side, just being like, get the fuck away from me. And he's like, are you sure you don't want some of this? And at that point, not only, you know, it's like an in-person dick pic, okay?
Vigorous nodding.
It's like offensive on so many levels. He just like opens up his pants. First of all, if I wanted to see your dick in real life, I'm gonna open your pants, or I'm gonna tell you to. Like, don't do that on your own accord. He opens his
You're
pants
assuming.
to
Trevor.
reveal the smallest little baby penis I have ever seen.
Was it,
It was
the
a
doctor's-
micro penis.
Fucking micro penis.
It was. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, they exist in the real world. They're out amongst you. Adult males rocking a child's dick, okay? And so he's got this thing. It's like not even sort of alive because he's so freaking drunk. And immediately after...
Whiskey dick.
Well, whiskey dick can end really well, actually. Like, if it can. But
Depends on the person.
it does, and their stamina. But he like whips
And
his-
also whether or not you're like in your late 30s or a 20-year-old boy who does not know how to handle his alcohol.
right. He like whips it out and immediately passes out. So he's got this little nub, just like sitting there all sad, just this little tiny. It's like a little baby bird peeking out a nest. It's so sad and cold and lonely. And it's just sitting there, and I am like dying of laughter. Like I can't even. And my friend's like, "What are you laughing at?" Like she's like, "What is going on?" And I'm just like, "I can't even words with you right now." And he's like leaned up against the door.
Is his
passed
hand
out.
still on his micro penis?
I don't remember what his hands were doing, but not much because he was passed the fuck out, right? And so we get to the house. The whole time I'm freaking like hysterically laughing. I hop the fuck out and I start to walk off. And his friend's like trying to get him to wake up. He's like, yo, come to the front seat. Like, come to the front seat. He won't wake up. So his friend gets out of the car, goes around, opens the door, where this dude then falls out with his dick out. His friend's like, whoa! And he like drops him out of a big 4-door truck. So like he hits the ground. That wakes him up. I don't know if he hit the ground tiny little peen first or what, but and then my friend saw it, so then she busted out laughing. We get inside. My friend whose house it is, whom I lived with,
Right.
was furious because
Right.
she had been up all night, worried about us. She wakes up and we're not there. Our phones are there. She can't reach me. She's like driving all over.
Yeah, like in her defense, this was like a first 48 kind of thing.
Yeah, she was like, I'm gonna be on a TV show, being interviewed, and being like, oh, they seem like normal freaking dudes, you know?
They seemed so nice.
Yeah, they were quiet and like unassuming.
Fuck.
And she was pissed, right? So she wouldn't even talk to me. She was so mad. She leaves for work, comes back, and I was like, can I tell you the story so you understand? And after that story, she was like, there's no way I can actually be mad still. And I was like, you know, I take one for the team.
So, small peen, I'm choosing to call him Trevor. He sounds like his name would have been Trevor. What do you think Trevor's up to now?
Probably assailing more younger women.
How old is he now?
I don't know. I don't know how I don't like, that's not something I ever learn, I guess. I didn't know the age in the last story. I just roundabout ballpark it, really.
Fair.
I'm just like, you're
That's
not, like, old, you know?
I hope Trevor's doing okay. Him and
I
his
don't.
micro
Fuck that
dick.
guy. I'm sorry. You know, be self-aware. Like, that's one of those long-term relationship penises. Like, you have to trick that girl into loving you before you ever reveal it.
You gotta trap her.
You gotta trap her with love, and then she'll have to just tolerate it. But you know, for whoever ends up with that, gagging won't be a problem.
He's probably married with like 2.5 kids.
Yeah, a half because he couldn't create a full one with his baby penis.
That phrase always confused me as a child. Like, because people would talk about, oh, like, you're gonna grow up and get married and have, 2.5 kids. It never occurred to me that that was, like, a national average. Like, when you look at families and, like, how many kids they have and you add it all up, like, somewhere between 2 and 3 kids. 2.5 kids. In my head, I always thought it was, like, 2 kids.
One of which is, like, a Siamese kid. You know, like a Siamese twin.
I hate that phrase. 2.5 kids.
It is weird. That's why the show didn't go with 2.5 kids. It's 2.5 men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that makes sense because it's like 2 men and then a small man.
Yeah, a small man.
But 2.5 kids is like, oh, how much smaller can you get?
Like, is the life short on that one?
Like,
or is he short?
So when you think about, like, half a kid, do you think it's cut lengthwise?
No, it's through the torso. Yeah, it's just a torso.
No.
Yeah.
That's wrong. That's
it's
fucking
just the
wrong.
head and arms.
No.
Like that guy.
Fuck that. Fuck that. No. Fuck that.
That motivational speaker guy.
Oh, fuck.
Where his girlfriend or wife or whatever, like, takes him around in a backpack.
I hate it. Oh my god.
They can do that arm dance really good.
Imagine, like, just a torso coming for you in the dead of night.
Yeah, I've seen that, where? In zombies on, like, Call of Duty.
I hate it. I'll, like, watch The Walking Dead all day fucking long, but I refuse to play Call of Duty Zombies for some reason.
Actually, the way that me and my brother played, like, the World of War, or World at War 1, the original zombies, right?
Right.
The way we would do it is, like, when the waves got higher, like, you got into a higher level when there's more, you would throw, like, a bomb into a big horde of them, right? Which would cripple some, and you would keep a crawler. But they couldn't crawl fast. They were always like, army crawling. And I'm like, first of all, you should be able to army crawl faster than that because you have less fucking baggage.
You just lost, like, half your weight.
Yeah, move quicker. Like, your blood as well, but still. Yeah, so we would keep one of those. And you'd have to, like, babysit it, and you would, like, get close to it so it would follow you, and then you would, like, drag it around, That's what we would do, while the other one was, like, boarding up windows and, like, hitting
You just
the
had
box.
a pet?
Yeah, you were, like, babysit the freaking crawler. And you had to pay attention to him, because he would sneak up on your ass if you weren't careful. Like, he would just be like, bah! Grabbing at you and
Blair,
stuff.
it's me.
Hello. Hey, fuckers.
Oh,
anyways, that's all I got.
That's great.
I think we're ending it here for tonight, kids.
I think so too. It's been a very eventful night.
Indeed.
So in recap, I smell like Dr. Pepper. There's a man in this world named Trevor with a very small dick. And
we still love you. So this has been another week with us on the Socially Awkward Sessions.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter so you don't miss a single update.
Catch you next time.
Bye.